Salute to the winners because everyone will win someday. By the rules, even 65 years later, Musashi remains the greatest swordsman in Japan. Throughout his life, he resonated across Japan, undefeated in 61 duels. Beyond being a fighter, he was an artist, writer, and philosopher, earning the title Sword Saint of Japan. In his final days, he lived in a cave, meditating in solitude for several months. Just a week before his death, he wrote a book for his disciple titled Dokkodo, meaning The Way of Walking Alone. He distilled his life's wisdom into 21 principles, 5 of which we will discuss in this video. These principles, though not new, are precise and direct, encapsulating Musashi's life wisdom intended for his disciple. Fully integrating even one of these principles into our lives can be immensely beneficial. The first principle is, accept everything just the way it is. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle advises accepting whatever is happening in your life as if you have chosen it. The next principle from Miyamoto Musashi is, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Do not do anything solely for pleasure. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations asks daily, was I born just to seek pleasure? Will I spend my whole life pursuing it? Pleasure is shallow, while happiness is deep and lasting. Continuously seeking pleasure will always leave you unfulfilled. You will never deeply understand anything, nor will you be able to focus on significant aspects. All sense pleasures from seeing, eating, and drinking become distractions if prioritized. The truth is that the mind has inner joy. Whenever you get something you like, the mind momentarily quiets, and the inner joy surfaces as pleasure, making you think it came from outside. This misconception leads you to seek pleasure externally, ignoring the real source within, where true joy lies. No matter how much you eat, drink, wear, or watch, the craving for more never ends. To truly want pleasure, you need to quiet the mind, whether through work, dance, climbing a mountain, or martial arts. The next principle is, do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling. Never rely on an incomplete feeling. Our minds are filled with numerous voices and distractions. Among this chaos, what we understand, we act upon, but we never fully trust ourselves. You don't know if your actions are driven by anger or inspiration, mistaking one for the other. Anger can start many things, but it cannot sustain them. To solve problems, you need a calm mind. Always be aware of your feelings because feelings turn into thoughts and actions. Without being mindful of your feelings, you cannot direct anger or pride positively. This practice is essential because only mindfulness and presence can help you manage your emotions and actions effectively. Another principle Musashi teaches is, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. If you only hear your own voice, you won't learn from life. When you don't consider yourself too important, you start learning. Humility is recognizing the goodness in others and in small things around you. This perspective reveals many details you might have missed. Life itself becomes a teacher if you're willing to listen. Every culture values humility because the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. The tallest bamboo bends the most. The final principle is, do not regret what you have done. Time moves in one direction, forward. Only your mind tries to move backward into the past. Regret is filled with anger and pain. It prevents you from moving forward. Learning from mistakes is good because it makes you more conscious and leads to better actions. But regret is not equal to action. It is an uncontrolled emotion. In the world of samurais, an uncontrolled mind can be fatal. Hence, whatever mistakes you have made or whatever wrong has happened to you, do not regret it. Otherwise, you will lose the lesson that it has to teach. The Dalai Lama says, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. To integrate these intellectual principles into practice, create some distance from distractions. Reading philosophy or discussions can only help to a certain extent. The most practical way to cultivate awareness is through meditation. Mindfulness and deep breathing also help. Take a summary of the principle that resonates with you the most. Take a screenshot and keep it where you can see it every day. So friends, let's summarize this video quickly. Accept everything just the way it is. Whenever you have difficulty accepting a situation or feel like complaining, accept the moment as if you have chosen it. This will turn your complaints into acceptance, and acceptance into awareness, where you can act instead of reacting. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. The source of joy is within you. If you ignore this and seek pleasure externally, you will always keep searching for happiness and never quench that thirst. You just need to quiet the mind, so whatever you do, do it fully. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Do not develop the habit of relying on incomplete feelings because feelings turn into thoughts and actions. By being mindful of your feelings, you can direct them positively. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Humility is recognizing the goodness in others and in small things around you. This perspective reveals many details you might have missed. Friends, if you like this video, I will continue to bring stories of courage and action. Remember, we will win.